Another year older, another year wiser. When you turn 16, you get to drive. When you turn 18, you can vote. 21, you can drink legally, and so on. Hitting these milestones can make us feel like we're growing up and becoming an adult. But milestones aren't just about age. I'm here today to share with you the major money milestones to hit in your 20s. Follow this outline and you might even be a millionaire by 30. First and foremost, you have to open up the right bank accounts. In fairness, you likely already have a bank account since you may have needed one to deposit your babysitting money from high school or your part-time income from working at the bookstore on your college campus. But odds are good you don't have the right bank accounts. What do I mean? You probably met your bank the same way I did. Freshman year orientation when they won you over with a free tote bag or a Frisbee. But they're taking you for granted. When you park your money in a checking or savings account, you are essentially giving the bank a loan. And even though your bank is making a killing by lending out your money, you're not getting much of a kickback, which is why I recommend opening a high-yield savings and high-yield checking account. This segment is sponsored by SoFi, my favorite high-yield checking and savings account. I know you want to make sure that the money you set aside for future expenses or emergencies isn't just sitting around getting eaten away by inflation in the meantime. Instead of a standard checking and savings account, I use a high-yield checking and savings account to ensure that I'm earning interest so my money can work hard for me too. Per the FDIC national average deposit rates, standard banks only provide 0.07% on checking accounts and 0.42% on savings accounts. But my SoFi high-yield checking and savings accounts allow me to earn 0.50 APY on checking and up to 4.50% APY on savings. That's a lot more interest for me. SoFi high-yield checking and savings accounts are so easy to use, and yes, before you ask, they are FDIC insured. Best part, if you set up direct deposit, you can also earn up to a $250 bonus right now. So where can you get one of these? Head to SoFi.com/yourrichbff. You work hard for your money, it should work hard for you too. Now on to milestone number 2. Now that you've got your money in the right bank accounts, working hard for you while it's waiting to be spent, let's talk about spending your money like the smarty you are. Cash can be hard to keep track of, bulky to carry, and if you lose it, too bad, so sad. So we're going to opt for plastic. That said, debit cards carry some of the same, if not bigger risks, in that if you lose a debit card, the lucky finder could empty your bank account, and debit cards aren't that great with fraud protection. So I recommend you open your first credit card. And now you're like, ooh, should I get this shiny one, or this cool black one, or this green one? No. You need to pump the brakes. While there are great cards for travel like the Amex Platinum or Capital One Venture X, great cards for dining out like the Chase Sapphire Reserve or the Amex Gold, you may not even qualify for any of these cards. You'll only get access to the best credit cards with the coolest perks if you have a good credit score. But if you have no credit or low credit, but you want to build your credit, consider getting a secured credit card. One that I like is the Discover It Secured. It requires a $200 upfront deposit, kind of like a security deposit on an apartment, but in exchange, you get a credit card that helps you build your credit. And if you use the card consistently and pay off your monthly balances, you should be able to apply for a more standard credit card with better perks within 6 to 12 months. Some good no-fee starter credit cards to look into after you've built up your credit a bit are the Chase Freedom Unlimited, the Citi Double Cash Card, and the Capital One Quicksilver Card. Okay, on to milestone number 3. Segue, getting a credit card does not mean you get to go buck wild and buy everything your heart desires. To ensure that you're spending responsibly and living within your means, you'll also need to make sure you make your very first budget. We all make different amounts of money, live in different places, and have different lifestyles. But if you need a place to start with your budget, I consider looking into the 50-30-20 method. The basic premise is to divide up your after-tax income and allocate it 50% to needs like your rent and groceries, 30% on wants, things like getting a mani-pedi or going out to drinks with a friend, and 20% to savings, debt paydown, and investing. The basic premise is to divide up after-tax income and allocate it 50% on needs, 30% on wants, and 20% to savings. The needs section covers necessities: rent, mortgage, car payments, groceries, insurance, healthcare, minimum debt payments, and utilities. Wants covers your Netflix subscription, going out, traveling, that new bag, a new phone. And savings covers things like investing, Roth IRA contributions, your emergency fund, and debt payment above the minimum requirement. Bottom line, this isn't one size fits all and should be personalized to your situation. Ideally, the more you can reduce needs and wants, the more you can contribute to savings. To bring it back to milestone number 1, an easy trick to consider is setting up separate high-yield checking or savings accounts for these 3 different segments so that your money can go straight there from your employer's direct deposit. Up next, another huge milestone in your 20s is living on your own or even with a roomie and paying your own rent for the very first time. Many people continue to live with their parents, but many others decide to venture out on their own. And there are 2 money mistakes that come with this first-time experience that you don't want to make. First up, make sure you get your security deposit back. If you are a renter, you likely had to put a security deposit down when you signed your lease. This isn't some magical extra payment your landlord just gets. It's supposed to cover any damages in case you trash the place. If you are a normal tenant who leaves the apartment in the same condition as you got it in, that money is due to you. You need to be getting that money back. My gal pal told me she's never gotten a security deposit back, and she's probably lost out on about $10,000 of money that was rightfully hers. Do not let your landlord scheme you out of your security deposit. If you're worried about it, take a thorough video as soon as you move into your new place and point out any imperfections then and there. That way, before your lease ends, you can contact your landlord in the last month or 2 of your lease and offer to let them do a walkthrough of your apartment. If they call out any damages, cross-reference with your video and ensure that you are not dinged for any issues you didn't cause. Secondly, a lot of us pay rent every month, and if you miss a payment, you better believe your Remy Ratatouille, Stuart Little snitch landlord is going to report it to the credit bureaus, dinging your credit score. But you know what happens when you pay on time every single month? Nothing! Your landlord is not in the business of helping you to increase your credit score. You're gonna need to do that yourself. For about $15 a month, you can manually report your on-time rental payments, which could really help you in the future when buying a car or a home. 3 websites that you can check out if you're interested in really boosting your credit score are creditmyrent.com, rentalreporters.com, and rentalkarma.com. And last but certainly not least, if you haven't already, your 20s are a perfect time to start investing. I didn't do this until I turned 23, but you're smarter than me, and the money you make that you don't need for necessities, funnel as much of it as possible into investments. In particular, if you want to set it and forget it, I'd open up a Roth IRA, contribute up to $541 a month, and buy a target date retirement fund with a year most closely associated with the year you turn 60. This is the set it and forget it strategy to invest. But if that's still too complicated, I highly recommend utilizing a robo-advisor and just taking a quick quiz where they'll help you build a portfolio that's right for you. You answer things like how old you are, how much you make, and your goals, and they'll pick investments for you. On top of that, great resources to learn more about investing include NerdWallet. They help you choose the best XYZ in personal finance. It is a wonderful comparison tool. Investopedia, your new finance vocab dictionary. It's also a great place to fact check stuff you see on social media. And last but not least, Mergers and Inquisitions. It's great if you're interested in a career in finance. At the end of the day, our 20s are going to look very different depending on where we live, what we do for work, and how we prioritize our time. But choosing to build a stable financial future, no matter who you are, is always a good idea. So please don't feel down if you haven't hit all of these milestones yet, but do make a concerted effort to continue improving your personal finances each day. If you found this information helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more valuable finance content. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!